I tried to think about all of his experience as a whole. He was in the military during the Cold War, so there was sort of this theme of sort of like a paranoid watching and being watched, mainly with the Russians and the Chinese. So I made a story around one experience that sort of exemplified that.
Which one was that?
He was in Frankfurt, and his duty was sort of to guard and do maintenance on these missiles, which I guess were nuclear missiles. And they would always see these Soviet attache cars going by, and they would look out with their binoculars, and the Soviets would be looking back at him and taking pictures. And he said he would wave to them, but they would never wave back. So it was like everybody knew they were being watched. He said every time they were in a hotel room or anything beyond the Iron Curtain, they knew their room was bugged. And so they knew there were satellites when he was on the bases in America and he was doing the work with the missiles and the planes. He knew that, everyone was getting pictures of everything that they were doing. I was definitely cautious to talk to veterans about their experiences. I have known people who've been to Iraq, and I don't ask them about it. I just assume they don't want to talk about it. And I don't know. I'm surprised how happy the veterans were to tell their stories. Like, I thought they'd be more reluctant, but they seem to like to have an audience and they like to share their stories. And I mean, I wish I had more than 2 pages to make a comic. I wish I could make a whole book like Carol did. I think all of them could have a book. They're looking at the Russians through their binoculars and they're like, man, it must be dull watching us from that truck all day. But he told me that they would sit in their little bunker they would do 12-hour shifts, and it would take about 2 hours to check the missiles and make sure everything was okay. And if everything was fine, they'd play bridge for 10 hours after that. So then the last frame is, the Russians in their truck, and they say, well, what are they doing? They're playing the same game they've been playing the last 6 hours. It's nothing. Nothing seemed to ever come of all this spying.